second quarter 2023. There are two main reasons for the drop comparing against the same quarter of last year. One of it is due to the perlindungan tenang effect. As of last year, same quarter of last year, we had the perlindungan tenang products, which brought us a underwriting profit of 6.8 million. So that product has been discontinued by the Malaysian government. At the same time this year, we met with two large fire losses, totaling to about 3.9 million loss. So that factors contribute to a loss of 4.9 vis-a-vis 4.8 million profit in second quarter 2023. Moving down to bullet point 2, you will notice that so a 7.3 million loss reported in this quarter, and that's largely coming and compared to the first quarter of 2024, 4.4 million. So there's a increase of the other expenses, and that's largely coming from the impairment loss on the intangible assets, mainly from our life business, as we wish to pivot our focus back to the general insurance business and also to be on the travel PA focus. And with that, we have impaired down the intangible assets. Moving down on the point 3 on share of results, that's basically from our Tune Protect Thailand. We have locked in a loss of about 5 million, and that's generally coming from a settlement of a legal case on the Rubber Authority of Thailand. We have pushed in the full impairment, and that totaled to about 4.9 million for the quarter. And compared against the full year, you will notice that we had also deteriorated against the full year. But in terms of this net claims incurred, we somehow had some slight improvement. That's mainly due to the lower claims and due to the attributable expenses. Sorry, that's against the first quarter of 2020. Moving on to next slide. Yeah. Next slide will give you an overview of the PAT, right? Just to show you where is the drivers of the PBT. By comparing the normalized profit in quarter 2 2024 vis-a-vis quarter 2 2023 of last year. So if you look at the table on the right hand side, that will show you the normalized profit after removing the three large one-off event, as we mentioned earlier, the two fire large losses, the impairment losses on the intangible assets, and the TPT route impairment. So on a normalized basis, that should give us about 1.5 million without the three large events. In comparison, which is the table on the left, last year you will notice we benefited from the perlindungan tenang product, as we mentioned earlier, and from the ringgit depreciation. Okay. Moving on to the next slide, we give you an overview of the combined ratio. So overall, if you look at the middle bar from your left, total combined ratio came in at about 105.2%, and that comparing on a quarter-to-quarter basis against first quarter, which is the immediate preceding of last quarter, you will notice there's an improvement of 4.6% on a lower combined ratio. And that's mainly attributable to the lower expense ratio and overall lower claims. However, this is partially offset by the higher acquisition cost ratio due to the decrease in the intermediary-related expenses in 2024. And if compared against the same quarter of last year, you will notice we have deteriorated, and mainly due to the two reasons as we have shared earlier. One of it is the Tenang release in 2023, and number two is the two fire losses that we've reported this year. Having said that, the overall lower reinsurance ratio is consistent with what we have shared with you, that due to the exit of the large commercial risk, and we have a drop in the cost on that. Okay, moving on to next slide. This just gives you an overview of our investment assets composition. As of today, if you look at the bar chart below, you will notice that 84% remains in the money market fund, with 16% in fixed income fund. Moving forward in the next few quarters, we will progressively be changing the asset allocation You'll be expecting more funds withdrawal from the money market fund, and we'll be moving into low-risk asset funds, mainly focusing on the Malaysian government securities and government-guaranteed corporate bonds. Right. So in terms of credit risk, there should not be any, but we are looking at a slightly higher running yield from this technical asset allocation. Okay, I will pass the presentation next to my colleagues.
Okay, maybe I just take on this part. Just a very quick recap of what I thought I should updated you last quarter. Following our conversation with our board, the Team Protects, I think, directions in the near 1 to 2 years is going to be focusing on these 3 key pillars, as what I shared during our last quarter's presentation as well. The first one is pretty much emphasizing on profitable growth. The KPIs of management basically have been retweaked to focus more on profitabilities, balanced profitabilities, as well as top line growth. And the various initiatives that was also been launched or rolled out, I think, to improve cost efficiencies, looking at how we can centralize our backend functions. For example, whatever initiative that we are actually launching now is actually a lot more focusing on ROIs and focusing more and prioritizing more on the shorter ROI durations initiative. I think later on in the slide, you will see that we do have some very initial achievements that year on year, we do see our MB costs actually dropping by about 6%. Hopefully, I think there'll be more cost disciplines that we can deliver, I think, better result in terms of cost efficiencies in the next half of the year as well. The second key pillars of our focus, just to reiterate, is then focusing on how could we monetize the biggest assets of the groups better. We currently do have like a 45 very extensive insurance partners network. We have 45 insurance partners globally across 50 different markets. With our existing exclusive partners, distribution partners that we have, just counting on the 6 airline partners itself, carry more than 150 million passengers a year. And we have actually more than 2,600 travel agencies networked. So a lot more efforts, I think, in the second half of this year is we'll be looking at how could we actually maximize the return in monetizing this asset, what we have. For airline partners, for example, we'll be focusing a lot more on take-up rate, focusing a lot more in monetizing the various channels that airlines partners actually currently possess that we may not be present in some of those sales channels of theirs. Of course, I think then the third pillars are more talking about how do we champion the growth of our regional business moving forward. This, we understand that we are cautious that we see this will perhaps give us better results in the midterm, perhaps towards the end of the year or the first half of next year. By leveraging of the assets of what we have, I think insurance partners, networks, as well as our technologies, we believe that we are actually put in a very competitive positions to actually pitch for other regional players. Could be online travel agencies, travel agents, for example, that actually conduct cross-country businesses that are in need of an insurance partners like us, which could serve them across multiple countries via maybe like one single API's connectivities. As compared to, we noticed many of our competitors that do require them to have, they were fairly independent from country to country, even though the same insurance company will probably require them to have like more than one, I think, APIs in order to serve them cross-country. So without further ado, I'll just go on to the first section of these things. Focusing on profitable segments and also improve cost efficiencies. As I mentioned just now, cost efficiency, basically, we do see our first half costs actually have reduced by approximately 6% from 52.5 to 49.4. Of course, more cost reductions are actually anticipated in the second half of the year to come true. At the same time, we are also looking at rebalancing our portfolio mix. You will notice that from 2Q23 to 2Q24, our travel segments, which is highly profitable, actually have grown from 30 to 36% of our portfolio mix. At the same time, our motor portfolio has remained fairly stagnant at 42 to 43%. On a year to date, basically, you've grown from 32 to 35 and motor from 42 to 45. So the key things that we are focusing on now is pretty much skewed our resources towards the more profitable segments. Yet we can't really ignore our motor portfolio. I think motor portfolio, we also have a specific task force focusing on motor portfolio to look at how can we rebalance the various sub-segments within motor, as well as actually increase our profitability through better claims management efforts to be put in place. For that, I think maybe I will pass on to Jubin, TPM's CEO, to walk you through on the motto strategies in the coming quarters.
Thanks, Al. So if you recall, I think we had embarked on a motor strategy about 2 years ago, and I think we are pretty much aligned to continue that strategy into 2024 and double down our efforts into focusing more on the profitable segments within motor. So the 4 initiatives I'm going to talk about, the first one is on repricing. We got our phase 2A approval from B&M in the second quarter, so we've fully implemented that within our different sub-segments within motor. So our pricing has been revised upwards by 4% for private car comprehensive. It's been implemented in July, and this is the third round of repricing we've done this year. The first 2 happened in the first quarter and the early part of the second quarter. As you know, phase 2A allows us to be more risk-based in our tariff products on pricing, and primarily this impacts motor because motor is tariffed at 10% and phase 2 allows us to go up to 15%. So this has been implemented and is supposed to give us better efficiencies in our coming quarters on motor. The second is growing our preferred and profitable lines with a lower loss ratio. So some of the efforts that we put in over the last 1 year within this segments where we see more profitable growth is the mid to high sum insured motor segment, which is typically a better loss ratio compared to lower sum insured. Our premiums in this segment have grown by 17% year over year. Our motorcycle premiums over last year have also grown by 22%. This is again considered to be profitable within motor. And geographically, we see Sabah and Sarawak region to have better profitability in terms of motor compared to West Malaysia. So we managed to grow our premiums 13% year over year within this space. We have also been upselling and cross-selling other add-on products over motor and motor attachment on PA, which is considered to be profitable. The rate for attachment has increased from 32% to 38% in the second quarter of 2024. And on the claim side, I think there's a couple of efforts that we have put in. We are enhancing our fraud claim prevention. So there are some initiatives happening in this space to ensure that we are able to detect frauds faster and easier. The second is our monitoring of agents who continue to give us motor, which is not within the segments that we want. We are monitoring that and making sure that from these particular agents, we try and achieve a better portfolio mix, which is aligned with our strategy. Let me pass it back to my colleagues.
Thank you. Thanks, Yubin. Next sections, basically, I just want to quickly walk you through on the travel space, basically what is we are doing. Though we actually still achieve a year-on-year growth in our travel space in Q2 2024. However, the growth was actually below our expectations. So we actually did go in depth to analyze how our airlines partners and travel distribution partners in terms of the performance. So one of the things that it come across to us was pretty much that we noticed a change in selected distribution partners of ours. There's a change in terms of their business mix. We observed that previously, pre-pandemic, approximately like 61% of, on average, of our airline partners' sales was actually through online channel, their direct online channel. However, post-pandemic, I think in Q2 24 specifically, we noticed that the online airline direct online channels actually the market share have shrunk actually to 44%, whereas their group bookings as well as online travel agency channels basically have increased to 56%. What I meant is the 56% are still within the airlines partners sales distribution channel. It's just that it is not via their online platforms. It was actually via their in-house group bookings platforms, which historically that we do not have our presence in all those platforms. And hence, as a result of that, our strategies, I think going back to the earlier thing of what I was sharing, in monetizing our assets, our focus are now a lot more shifted towards how could we activate those platforms of our distribution partners in order for us to fully leverage of their growth potential. So basically what you can imagine now is the current travel numbers that we are delivering is actually based on 44% of the potential of our exclusive distribution partners. The potential of our growth will be the remaining 56%, which currently we may not be having much of a presence. So in order to address that, our initiative generally focusing, I think, on two main areas. One is how do we actually work on increasing take-up rates through our direct channels. Even though we have present in the direct channel, but there's always rooms for us to keep pushing our take-up rates, I think, from those channels. And some of the things that basically I'll pass to my colleague to walk you through later on, how basically we are testing out sensitivity in different markets to optimize our pricing in different markets, divided into short haul, long haul, domestics, for example. On the other hand, I think that's also very important is for us to activate the indirect channels, which represent the remaining 56% of it, which is pretty much made up of travel agents and online travel agencies. How we can actually get our product to be displayed on those platform or airline distribution partners in order for us to push through our products, I think, to those travel agencies as well. We generally will have this tendency of bundling insurance into various tour packages, and comparatively, we do expect a higher take-up rate even as compared to our online direct channel. With that, I'll just pass on to my colleague Joseph, I think, to walk you through efforts that he's putting in growing take-up rates through online channel.
Yep, thank you. So what we plan to do here is that we acknowledge that there is so much potential in our current airline partners that we can look at two ways to optimize the price as well as the product, okay, to get what we call to deliver higher GWP for the airline partners. So based on the data, so we have observed that actually different market and different segments showed a different behavior. For example, like the long haul flights, passengers, medium haul passenger, and also domestic passengers, they are all having a very different buying insurance behavior. So maybe, for example, for the medium haul flights, we noticed that the demand for the bundle products is very, very high and it's very sticky as well. So we are in the midst of proactively engaging our airline partner and see if we can increase the insurance price for the bundle products. So by doing this, we will be what they call a low-hanging fruit for us to increase our GWP. Yeah. Then the second part, we're also looking at our international short-haul flight, especially for all those ASEAN market like Bangkok or like Jakarta, these kind of places. We also noticed that because our insurance has been kind of like one flat price for all the ASEAN markets. So we feel that that might not be the right strategy to tackle this ASEAN market. So we are looking at the affordability of each of the routes. So we are looking at like maybe we should change our pricing and then to match that with the airfares. Yeah. So this is what we're planning to do with all those markets, and hopefully we can optimize the price and also the revenue from all these routes. Okay. Yeah, and at the same time, we're also looking at any new products for the market, because I think we've been selling the travel insurance for the past 10 years. Okay, so we are noticing that, like for example, in domestic markets, okay, not all of them are tourists. Okay, some of them are the non-tourist segment. For example, they are the workers, hometown visitors, or medical treatment seekers. So they have a very different behavior. Travel insurance might not be the correct product fit for these kind of segments. Yeah. So we come out with like we are looking at coming out with the gadget protections and see if it is working for this group of people, because we all know that this group of people, they are taking the budget airlines. They might be budget conscious, and also they're only willing to spend like around 5% of the airfares for the insurance. Yeah. So this is for the domestic. We're looking at Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and Indonesia's all this domestic market. And the other product we are looking at is like we all know that, like for example Singapore or like maybe Bangkok. Okay, these days they have a lot of events going on, and then they have a lot of concert as well. So a lot of people travel to these kind of destinations is to attend certain music festive or for certain celebrity concert as well. So for these kind of segments, we are looking at some event protections. Okay, so it's a bit different from our usual travel insurance. We're looking at the bite size, low premium, affordable products. Hopefully, we can increase the take-up rate to target these new emerging customers. And also, last but not least, we're also looking at those travelers that who appreciate flexibilities in their plans. So we notice that not all the travelers will stick to their plan, or sometimes they change their mind, and sometimes they change their plan. So they might need to cancel some of their trip. So we are looking at maybe we need to offer the cancellation insurance to be on par with the Europeans or American markets, where the cancellation insurance is the new products being offered to those regions. Yeah. So we are looking at new products. All in all, with the new pricing and also the new product, hopefully we can increase the take-up rate. Yeah. And also now let's pass to my colleague Jeffrey. Jeffrey will bring us through on the non-direct channel segment. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Joseph. So technically, just to echo on what we started just now in terms of the strategy, I think bigger portion of the travel composition actually moved over to the travel agents or even the online travel agents. So actually, we come up with a strategy, okay, to tackle this as well. So we split this by two. One is via the airline, via our airline exclusive agents, as well as the market agents. So I will start with the airline travel agents, this is already there with us. So technically, the strategy, what we are looking now is actually to bundle the travel with the tour package, make it as a whole. So with this, it allows our partners, exclusive agent, to actually have a higher margin in their tour packages. So this will actually push the travel agents to actually promote insurance more. So secondly, as well, is actually to enhance our product with the same pricing. Obviously, post-pandemics, pricing becomes quite sensitive, so as well as to align with the first strategy itself, bundling and also increase the agents' margin as well. So via here, we're retaining the pricing, but we actually enhance the product itself to position it for a better proposition and be competitive product in the market as well. So the agents will actually, bundle our products into their tour packages. So in terms of the market activation, obviously we have multiple markets to activate, but first of all, to be more focused, we are activating Malaysia and Thailand first in 2024. The main reason here is because Malaysia and Thailand stands a composition close to 50% of the total group booking in our exclusive airline partners. Therefore, we are focusing on these two markets. And moving forward, upcoming, obviously, we'll move out to other markets now to capture most we can, and as well as the OTAs as well. So in terms of the target, we are actually targeting 10% of the active agent. So why there is a 10% of the active agent? Mainly because of two reasons. One, not all agents are moving on group booking, as well as and to activate all the agents will require some time. So in short term, the 10% itself will actually move the numbers even faster because these are active agents and the top producing agents. So by onboarding them, we are targeting to have a high single-digit increase in the take-up rate. As far as now is concerned, I think the current take-up rate is approximately at 1% only. So as I mentioned, the second one, other than airline exclusive travel agents, second one is actually also the travel agents in the market. So travel agents industry in Malaysia, actually we have close more than 2,000 active travel agents associated to MATA in Malaysia. So travel insurance is sold mostly by travel agents focusing on outbound travels. So this is still the traditional way of doing. However, it's still something big market there for us to actually tap. So collectively, we are not looking only via our partners, as well as we are looking at all travel agents and all bankers. So target-wise, I think year to date, we have successfully onboarded 106 travel agents, and we are targeting to onboard 120 travel agents by end of 2024. So this is pretty similar to our aim that we are focusing on more on the top agents and move the production in a faster manner. Okay, so the plan and initiative moving forward will be we are looking at product reviews and enhancement to be competitive in the market, as well as product update sessions of MATA members. Because post-pandemics, things change, consumers' behaviors and needs also changes as well. So with all these kind of enhancement and updates, we strongly believe that it will actually move towards the needs of insurance to a higher level. So I'll pass back to my colleagues. Yes.
Yeah, maybe just one point to add. I think even with the 10% target on those active agent, it could have already make up maybe close to 40-50% of the offline channels bookings of the airlines business as of today. So I guess that's basically conclude our presentation. But just now we missed out one slide on our actually MPS and also sustainability scores. So I will pass this to Chilings, I think, to walk you through.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Just very quickly, some new updates. So we've won a couple of awards. New stocks, originally campaign. Campaign on keeping on that. Awards. We also won a customer experience of that. Some initiatives that we have launched the cashless. So with this now, you don't actually paperwork when you go to hospital. That's like 5,000 network in collaboration. So that eliminates any document that is. In terms of SC for good, happy to announce that we maintain our 3.6 ranking. Still on the FT for good for a couple of years now. Are today still by far the only listed conventional two. We have also increased in terms of our social score. We used to be low in that, but we are now having. Yeah, so on disclosure, quite a number of disclosures that the team score that meets the label standards. Customer NPS, you'll see that at the first Q when we run the survey, we are at +44%, and partner NPS we are at +50%. As you see, the NPS that we have scored is actually very high. Industry global standards is at 42, 2 points above that, and partner NPS we are. So that is.
So with that will conclude our presentations for today. Happy to take any other questions.
Yes, we move on to Q&A now. Please state your name and organization for asking a question.